Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. This is going to be the first of two videos. Okay? And this video is going to be about GLP-1. Because people are asking about it. If it's good for Meniere's disease, or people take it for Meniere's disease. So, I remember I had asked my doctor maybe about a year ago about it, and she said, no, it's for diabetes weight loss. Where are you getting this information? I saw a person post it in a group. And, I got to ask. So she's like, yeah, luckily she loves me, so I don't worry about her getting mad at me. But again, that's coming up where people are throwing shit against the wall, seeing if it sticks. And I decided today I was going to look it up. Because I'm like, I can't sit there and say, well, my doctor said a year ago. So I'm going to look it up. And it's not Google AI. It's Google. I don't use Google AI. I hate AI. I like it for videos and pictures. I can't stand it for information. Because half the time it's wrong. So yeah, there is no established use of GLP-1, like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, for treating Meniere's disease. But these drugs can cause Meniere's-like symptoms. Vertigo, dizziness, hearing issues, ear issues, due to the effects on the brainstem nuclei, inner ear circulation, and fluid balance. Okay? Now, that's what I said before. The fluid balance is, there's chambers in the cochlear, where there's fluid here, the fluid in the middle is different, and there's fluid on the bottom. That membrane ruptures, the fluids mix, and you get your vertigo. Because all that stuff's getting on the nerves, all that stuff. We went through that before. Somebody called me out and said I was wrong. Unfortunately, they're wrong. So yeah, it can cause all these vestibular problems. So it can't be used for that. They have finding things that it does help with some other neurological problems. But they're looking into it. It's not even at a research thing yet. They're looking into it. But basically, yeah, it's going to cause more symptoms. So why would you take it for Meniere's disease? And that's what I'm talking about. That's something simple that the person who asked that question and other people who have been asking that question literally could Google it or call your ENT and ask. Call your doctor and ask. I don't know what people think, like Facebook support groups are smarter than a doctor. They're not. Half the people in there, most of the people in there, and all of them are pretty much, except maybe 1% of the people are doctors, are not doctors. 90% of people in the groups are not doctors. There might be one or two that are medical doctors, but they're not vestibular doctors. Okay? Because I know one of the groups I run, there's two doctors, and neither one of them are vestibular, and they have Meniere's disease. So that's why they're in a group. And I like sometimes when they contact me because I learn more. But and then you get the people who think they're doctors, or say they're a nurse when they're actually a nurse's aide or whatever, or they were, or they haven't been in the field in 20 years. A lot of things have changed in the last 20 years in the medical field for everything, not just us, but for everything. Okay, it's been a ton of shit that's changed. Some people don't understand that. So, yeah, ask your doctors. Don't be posting on Facebook, does this work, does that work? Next time you see somebody, you'll say, oh, does arsenic help? Yeah, it'll cure it permanently. I was when I worked at funeral homes, one of the jokes my friend Jimmy used to make, this is his father's business, actually. He's in the business too. He used to tell, it was one of the jokes he used to say, he goes, there's a cure for everything. And we'd be like, what are you talking about? And he'd be like, yeah, 10% of bleach will kill everything. It'll kill you, but it'll kill your disease, cure your disease too. And it was more of a joke of how people would reach out, even back then. This is in the 80s. And people were reaching out trying to find anything and everything to cure whatever. But in the last 40 years, there's been a lot of big changes in the medical field. There are people that aren't dying from certain cancers anymore. That's fantastic. Most cancers back in the 80s, if you had cancer, that was a death sentence. 70s, that was a death sentence. Now, not so much, depending upon what it is. Even pancreatic cancer, they're starting to come out with procedures and things that are helping people live a lot longer. Normally, if you were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, by the time they diagnosed it, you usually had about a year, 6 months to a year. Now, some of these people are living 5, 10, 15 years. And, afterwards, after having whatever, because now they're finding out how they can operate on that pancreas. So in certain medications that are targeted for the pancreas. So, there are things that change. And things are going to change for us, too. We've got to be patient. We've got to stop throwing things against the wall and listening to every hack out there who thinks that they've developed a cure. Like these chiropractors. Oh, I can cure your Meniere's disease. What the chiropractor doesn't tell you is they'll say, oh, they can cure your disease. It'll take 14 appointments at $10,000. We'll cure you. You go to all these 14 appointments, $10,000. The next week, you're back having vertigo. Do you know why? Because your neck wasn't adjusted. Or whatever they do. Go to chiropractor, you have to have adjustments all the time. You can't just go 14 times and never go back again. That's why me and my friend Lincoln always say, if you walk into a chiropractor and they say they can cure you, run. Because they can't. Okay? I see all these little videos. Oh, your vertigo is really from these two things right here. C1, C2, C3, whatever. I don't want somebody playing with any of these things in here. They make a mistake, you're paralyzed. You're dead for the rest of you're dead or paralyzed the rest of your life. But to each his own. If it gives you relief, that's great. Just don't think of it as a cure. But other than that, that's it for this video. And I'll talk to you all later. I just want to get that out there. That GLP-1 and Meniere's disease, no. It's not good. So, on that note, have a great day.